We're going to start our conversation about life and death with something that you've seen before, only this time we're going to call it by the name. This is a white eye in the middle of the board, and I put it here purely for demonstration purposes. White actually spent a lot of moves making this eye. 8 stones, and in a real game, white usually doesn't have so much time to make only one eye, only one point. So white might think of spending fewer stones on making the same thing, on achieving the same result. But in this case, it might become a little more dangerous. Look, if we imagine that white didn't play any 2 of these 8 stones, let's say these 2, then it's obvious that at this point black can play here and destroy the eye. But if we even remove 2 cornerstones, the eye is still in danger. So let's say we take these 2 cornerstones and we replace them with 2 black stones, like this. And the point in the middle is no longer an eye. This is now what we call a false eye, which means that after black plays this Atari, white is going to have to fill here and the eye is gone. This looks quite simple, right? But even if we remove 2 of the diagonal stones, let's say these 2, and still replace them with black stones, like this point in the middle seems like an eye, but it's still a false eye. Because if black now gets a chance to surround any of these 2 halves, any of these 2 triangles, then this last move is an Atari on the 3 stones, and if white wants to save them, white has to fill this liberty and the eye is gone once again. You might think that losing this eye in the middle of the board is no big deal, and you're right. But if you are in a life and death situation, you have a group with 2 eyes and you need both of them to stay alive, then recognizing false eyes or even seeing the chance of one of those eyes becoming false eyes gains crucial importance. Now let's see some more examples just to make sure that you can see very clearly which eyes are false and which eyes are real. And in these examples, we're looking for false eyes in all 4 of them. It's black's turn everywhere. Let's see what black should do. In this first example, black has 1 definite eye in the corner, but what about this point? It's still undecided. If white plays here, because it's the first line, white only needs to take 1 of the cornerstones and the eye is gone. This is now a false eye and black is dead. So when it's black's turn, if black wants to live, black has to play here immediately. What about this one? How many eyes does black have in the corner here? Only 1, because white has these 2 stones. So black needs this eye to survive. And of course, if white takes to this point right now, 2 of the corner points are taken by white, and this is no longer an eye. White can Atari, and this is a false eye, and the whole black group dies. So when it's black's turn, black has to play here right now. Here, black only has 1 eye up there on the top, and this is the point in question. If white plays here, this is now a false eye, and only 1 eye on the top, which means that the whole black group will be dead. So just like before, black has to take this point if he wants to live. And the last one. At this point, you can probably see what to look for, where to find a false eye. This is the point here. If white plays here, this becomes a false eye. But does black have to play here right now instead? Actually, this position is different from the rest of them because here black already has 2 eyes in the corner, which means that black is not in danger of dying. And if black plays here right now, black makes a 3rd eye, which he doesn't really need for living. So this move only costs 1 point, which means that black doesn't have to make it right now. Black can think of ignoring the situation because he's already alive and playing somewhere else. Find a bigger move. And now I just have to show you some beautiful moves, or tesuji, that can force your opponent to have a false eye, so that they would give you some ideas on how to attack your opponent and also what to look out for when you're defending. In this position here, white has 1 real eye in the corner, and then this situation here. And if it's black's turn, black can make a beautiful throw in, like this. And if white accepts the sacrifice, this is not an eye anymore. Now black can Atari, and white would have to fill the liberty, and the whole group dies with only 1 eye. Before all of this happened, white had to play here himself to make 2 eyes. And now that you keep that position in mind, this is very similar. because in the same way, black can attack white like this. White tries to extend, and black sacrifices more stones. Yes, white can capture them, but then black cuts and gives up the 2 stones. And if white accepts the sacrifice, black throws in one more time. Again, white only has 1 eye in the corner and another false eye. This whole white group is dead. So before any of this happened, white needed to make 2 eyes here, like this. And one last example that's going to be perhaps a little more tricky. Here, white has 1 eye in the corner, black already has a stone inside, and we're looking at this situation here. Black here has a beautiful throw in tesuji again. Black can play here, and this move puts these 2 white stones in Atari. So white would really like to connect here to make this into the second eye, but white can't, because in this case, black will capture these 5 white stones. So instead of this, white has to capture like this. And now black can Atari, and this eye is gone. This might seem like the simplest of things, but it's a very fundamental thing, and it's important to understand if you want to attack your opponent successfully and if you want to defend against his attacks.
By the way, you can also watch these lessons on our platform, gomagic.org. Except there, you'll watch them with interactive quizzes right within the lessons and practical exercises right after them. And if you enjoy watching these Go videos and you don't want to miss others like this one, go smash that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and this is Go Magic.